So you just identified a correlation between an IQ increase and a decrease in critical thinking. Could there, in theory...
That's right.
Could there, in theory, be a causal relation?
Let's give you an example to show...
Oh, sure.
Let's give me an example to show you what I mean.
Sure.
Let's say you have a person who's been through university, who has learned to think with a certain amount of critical intelligence about what the advertisers say. You know, he isn't duped. So he has some critical intelligence. And then America sends troops to the Middle East. And we've seen the interviews with these people. They say, well, I don't know much about the Middle East. I don't know what would happen if we didn't send troops. I just have to go and sulk and think all politicians are liars and who knows whether you can agree with them or not. Now imagine someone who actually reads still, which is a declining art. And he's actually read a book on the Middle East, perhaps Howard Fisk's The Great Crusade for Western Civilization. And he knows some history. Maybe he had a good history course starting with the 30 Years' War. And you run into such a person and he says, you know, what if a Turkish sultan in 1608 had decided that he would stop Catholic and Protestant from killing each other and would nation build in Germany with all those little city-states? And he would say that would be utterly insane, sending a Turkish army to Germany to teach Catholic and Protestant to love each other and to nation build. And what are we doing? We're sending a Christian army to the Middle East to stop the Sunni from fighting with the Shiites, to try and nation build in Afghanistan. We ought to have our head examined. But he can reason in that way only because he may have read some of the literature of the Middle East. He may actually know that the Afghans in the north hate the Afghans in the south. And the attempt to nation build the two has been tried many times and failed. And as I say, if his critical intelligence is conjoined with information and wide reading, then it can be put to work. If it's combined with colossal ignorance, he will just go off in a corner and sulk. So you can't just have good manipulation of concepts. You have to actually have an awareness that comes from being a well-read, educated person.
Right. But everyone can't be that, though. Would you agree with that?
No, everyone can't. But you would hope that about the top 10% of university graduates would.
Sure.
Take what happened to Britain in the 19th century. About 10% of people who were at the top decided that slavery was a nonsense. You know, they had black servants who came to Britain. They had black people who came from America who were freedmen. And they said to themselves, this is nuts. And politicians, of course, wanted slavery to go on. It was very profitable. But it was hard for a politician to find a dinner table that he wouldn't be ridiculed for defending slavery. And sooner or later, this consensus among the upper elite influenced British policy. They, at some expense, stopped the slave trade. Now, if in America, whenever you encountered a journalist or a university educator or a well-educated person, they said, there's something really peculiar about going all over the world and killing people to try to do the impossible. So the more such people we have, the more it would be difficult to find a dinner table in an upper-class home where you would get away with these ideas. So the mere fact that high critical intelligence, and also if you have that type of critical intelligence among the upper 10%, it will begin to infect journalists. It will begin to infect university lecturers. It will begin to infect a doctor who reads, who has a medical training. So doing away with an elite that is both of reasonable IQ and has a reasonable background of reading and information, that is really an indispensable elite. You may say it's very small, but it's an elite that could punch above its weight.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see the whole interview, just follow the link up here or down below. And please subscribe for more outrageous clips from my interviews. Thank you. Have a good one. Cheers.